Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. One second, actually. Let me do something here. Ooh, turn that on. All right, awesome. Sorry about that. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another pre-market watch list. So thank you guys once again for tuning in as always. All right, so some things are going... Things are getting a little crazy here this morning. As you guys know, NBEV, IGC, all dumped after hours. Could have seen this coming from a mile away. Did post on a few stock groups on Facebook, like Robinhood Penny Stock Traders and Robinhood Traders, saying I personally, BRT, downgraded IGC and NBEV to about $5 to $6 a share. Everybody thought I was crazy. Now they're probably thinking maybe I'm not so crazy. Again, as I stated, they're bubbles. It's simple. They're bubbles, right? So we're going into the correction phase of these little penny stock bubbles. So do anticipate a little bit more downside today. Both IGC and NBEV are most likely going to turn into short plays. I do see a little bit of a bounce on them today, possibly, but all in all, they're probably turning into some short plays now. So if you're long, do be careful. With that being said, we're going to jump into it. I don't have too much time to stay on today, so we're going to jump to the next screen here. All right. Yeah, there you have it. Those are all the stocks I'm watching: IGC, SFIX, and NBEV. Also, SFIX, that's an earnings play. And then here are the stocks gapping up and down, so you guys can keep a look on that. What's going on, guys? Yep. Alrighty, so let's get into it. Okay, let's look at this. And I do apologize if I kind of pause for a second because I'm currently long on NBEV pre-market, anticipating this bounce. So I'm currently long on the stock right now. So I do kind of have to follow it a little bit, just to make sure that I don't mess myself up. So just an FYI. Let me see. It's still holding up okay. All right. So let me get into sharing the screen now. All right. So for IGC, we'll start there. IGC, as you can see, here's the daily chart. It's a bubble. We said that yesterday. If we go into the chart today, we'll do a 5-minute chart. So you can clearly see IGC went up, rolled all the way over, and now it's starting to bounce. So I do anticipate a little bit of a bounce, but it's probably going to be followed by a downward move, something like that. Now, the question is whether or not it's going to break below $8 today, or even maybe below like $7.50. That's really the kind of the real question there, whether or not it's going to break below some of those key levels. So let me get into it here. I'm going to go into a 1-minute chart. So really, this is what we're looking at. Okay, we're wanting to know whether or not this thing's going to come up, roll over, and break down like that. So again, right, it's starting to bounce pre-market. This is what I anticipated. Once it gets up here, if it does, you'll probably just see it start rolling over out of the gates and dropping. There might be a little bit push out of the gates, but it's most likely coming back down. So if you're long on it, do consider locking in some profits today. That would probably be a wise idea. Okay. Now, secondly, same thing. So this is what we're going to do. Right, you can see it had the big push. It's dropping down to some key levels of support, so it's starting to bounce. And then when this bounce ends, it's going to go for another reshort to the downside, where it's probably going to come all the way down to maybe 850 today on IGC to test those levels. Okay. Now, lastly, I mean, that's basically it, right? I mean, that's really just it there, guys. Just watching this thing for a rollover and a reshort. Now, what I would look for is on NBEV, okay? Watching NBEV here. So you can see with NBEV, it's doing the same thing. It's kind of bouncing. It's just below the VWAP, just below the volume weighted average price. It's starting to push up. This is the same exact thing. IGC and NBEV are doing the same thing. Right? They had their big push, they're rolling over, they're dropping, they're bouncing, and now they're going to eventually end this bounce and go for a reshort. And I am trading this bounce right now pre-market. So, well, I'm currently up $770 today pre-market on this bounce with NBEV. And to be quite honest, I'm probably going to sell some of that right now. So let me go ahead and do that right now. Hold on. So I'm going to put it here on the screen. I need to get out of some of these shares, sell some. So I'm going to sell 2,000 shares. All right, yeah, just sold. Actually, no, we're going to lock in most of that. Give me just a second here. It's a big difference there. That won't sell. Having trouble selling that 500 there. Give me just a second, guys. Actually, you know what? Let's just call it. We'll get out of that thing completely. All right, we are all out of NBEVs for $607 so far, starting the day off. So that was nice. Just want to get out of there. It's kind of struggling that VWAP. Might push higher. Who cares? I just made a good chunk of money here on the day, so that way I don't have to worry about that anymore while I'm here on the live stream. Sorry about for you on Zoom. I thought I unmuted it, but it clearly didn't unmute. So with NBEV, again, right, just going to be watching this thing, anticipating a bounce, same as IGC. Once it gets up here to some, resistance levels, you're probably going to see it roll over for another short. So if you're long on both IGC and NBEV, do think about locking in some profits today because they're starting to look a little bit iffy, shall we say. There's probably going to be a little bit of a long play maybe out of the gates, but again, the main play is probably going to be a short play. Okay. Next one here on the list is SFIX. SFIX is an earnings play. They gap down. It's holding support around $35 from quite a while back. So it gapped down straight into a support level. It's kind of holding up. I'm anticipating we're going to see a little bit of a bounce here in the morning to maybe pop up towards the 38 price, maybe even towards 37. And then we might see rejection and see it come down and break through the pre-market supports around $34, $35 and go for a short play. So this one we'll be watching for a gap down, hold support, squeeze up to enter into a short. So there might be an opportunity to trade the squeeze up and then short the move back down. And that's basically what we're watching for. If you look down here, or if you look at like a yearly chart, you will see, or that doesn't do the justice. We got to do a 180-day chart. You can see the price of SFIX gaps down straight into support. Okay, so it's holding this 35. If it breaks 35, we might see it fade out a little bit more, but it's already had a big move. So I'm almost thinking we're going to see SFIX actually bounce out of the gates up to 38, possibly over 38, but we'll see. That right there would be a pretty big move. Did not go over TLRY. So TLRY, okay, so again, everyone still calling me a knucklehead saying TLRY is going to the sky because it's starting to move up. This is exactly what we said would happen before it even crashed, okay? It would crash, it would do a dead cat bounce, and now it's going to roll over and continue into its second phase of the bubble. Bubbles do two things. They go skyrocket, they have their first crash, they have a bounce where everyone thinks it's coming back, but really it's just getting ready to go for another move back to the downside and fade out. As we said, Boiler Room Trading gave TLRY price targets first of $80 to $100. We hit that. Now its price targets down to 75, 50, 40. It's going to 75, 40, 50 bucks, okay? Most likely, okay? Just beware. Okay, so TLRY. What would I do with TLRY today? I would not trade TLRY. If you're going to trade it, you should be shorting it at this point. The bounce happened. This is the dead cat bounce. We've performed the lower high. This is going to be now moving back in that direction, okay? If you look at a stock chart of, let's do that. Let's pull up a stock chart of Bitcoin, okay? Let's do that because Bitcoin is like the exact same thing as this. I mean, I'm glad people tune into my stream because if they, it's a really good thing because I help teach a lot of information. All right, let's see. Where's Bitcoin? Here we go. The classic bubble, okay? Oh, here's a good example. Oh, here we go. So that's what a bubble looks like, okay? It goes up, right? It goes up, parabolic. It has the first crap push down, and then all the bulls get in long thinking it's a nice entry, and then slam, okay? That's exactly what happens. So let's go back and look at TLRY, right? Let's look at TLRY again. Oh, wow, that looks very similar. Interesting. No, it's not really interesting. It's obvious, okay? So again, if you're going to be trading TLRY, you should most likely be shorting it. In terms of BABA, I mean, I wouldn't even be long on BABA. I would be short bias on BABA. It's had a death cross a while ago. Chinese markets still aren't picking up very well, so I wouldn't. The only thing I'd be doing on BABA is just following it. The range it's getting kind of ugly. I know it gapped down here, but it's actually probably setting up for a short play to the downside. 180-day chart. Oh, it already did. Yeah, excuse me. So what's this look like? 1 day, 1 minute. Big gap. I mean, I don't really like BABA. It's just becoming a choppy turd, right? I like fast momentum playing, and this is just becoming a choppy turd at this point. So, yeah, it gapped down, but if I'm not watching it, I mean, I only trade things that are going to move really fast usually or have the opportunity to, and I don't really see this as one. But since it gapped down, right, this is what I would say. Since it gapped down, you're probably going to see it do exactly what it's doing. Ooh, excuse me. Let me zoom back out. All right, so with BABA, it would make sense to see this, gap down, push back up, and then it's going to go for a reshort out of the gates. This is probably not a good dip buy area. It's actually probably setting up for a short play. Okay. DTEA, that's another stock gapping up. You could watch it, but chances are this isn't going to do a whole lot. It moves like junk. It is junk. Doesn't have enough volume. It's pretty. I mean, I guess there is some volume to it, but again, it's kind of rolling over, dropping down. You could keep an eye on it, but since NBEV and IGC are both going down, it's most likely going to take this turd down with it. So, I could be wrong, but I'm not going to watch those. There's enough opportunity on NBEV and IGC today that I wouldn't have to trade this, and those have much, much better volume. AMRN, HEAR, I would just get out of HEAR. That thing's a turd. And that was overhyped and manipulated stock. It went from $1.60 to $34. Again, bubble pretty much is what that kind of is, another bubble. Because I mean, the stock was what? It was worth $1.60, and then all of a sudden Fortnite came out and everybody started gaming, and what you thought their headphones were, the companies were. No, it doesn't even make sense. Okay, so what I can say is, yeah, I mean, I still wouldn't be buying that. If anything, I'd just primarily be watching that short bias, because this is probably what you're going to see happen, right? It went up. Or actually, hold on, let me rephrase that. It went up, pulled back, then it went up like this. Now it's coming down. So it's kind of coming to a possible bounce area that might go like this, and then I would foresee it going like that. HEAR, I would probably give HEAR a price target of $5. Okay, so keep that in mind, that I will give HEAR price targets of $5 to $3. It'll take a while to get there, but that's where my price target would probably lie for that company, within the $10 to $5 area at this point. Square. TRXC. Let's see this. Yeah, TRXC, no, boring. Well, I mean, if you're a swing trader, yeah, I mean, I could say like, yeah, that might be something you want to follow. But in terms of day trading, no, not at all. Too choppy. AMRN. So AMRN fading out. All right, so let me delete these old drawings. I mean, yeah, this is expected. AMRN, again, went on a major push with good news. So it's just pulling back. I would wait to see if it pulls back to about 1465. That's really the next kind of level of support on the 180-day chart. In terms of like a 10-day chart, yeah, I mean that's basically it. I would say AMRN, probably watch it short today down to the 1460 level. I would keep it on watch for a short play. There might be a little bit of a bounce before it happens, but I would primarily see the AMRN as a short play today. Okay. Oh yeah, for sure. I dissed OGEN. All right. So yeah. Okay. So it went up and it almost crashed. It got bought back up and now it's, back up equally as high as all the other times. And again, it's going to crash. I'll tell you right now, most likely going to crash. So it might keep running a little bit more. So yeah. Okay. It kept running, but again, it's going to crash. I will diss stocks all day long that I don't like. And the reason I will say this one ran a little bit more than the other ones, which I did state yesterday that this one had a little bit more opportunity to run, is because it had this higher low, right to there. It had more of a curl than did these. These were down spikes, down spikes, down spikes, down spikes. This one was a curl spike. So it doesn't surprise me it's running a little bit more, but it's going to crash. So trade it as you may. What I can say is this. I mean, if you ask me, right, does this look like a fun chart to trade? Not at all, right? Spike up, drop down, move up, back down, up, crash, bounce, curl, fake out, drop, bop, crash. Like that right there is what we call an extremely ugly looking chart. That is not fun to trade. Well, for most, let me say for most. I could probably trade it here and there, but it's still gross. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I'll go back to this screen so you guys can put these stocks on your screen or your watch list or however you want to do it. Sorry it wasn't as detailed today, but kind of in a rush, kind of in a cramp, got a lot of things going on today. I would say at whatever level you feel comfortable shorting TLRY, take it short. People always say, should I short below this level? Well, chances are if you're trying to short below a level, it means it's already dropped to that level, which means you're shorting at the low, which is a bad idea. Really, you should be shorting at the high, so you should be shorting when it reaches a price and then covering when it breaks below a price. That's really how it should be done. But I did see CLRB earlier, but earlier didn't really have much volume. Okay, so it is kind of running now. Yeah, you could keep CLRB on your watch list. It's running up pre-market. It does have the same kind of curl pattern as OGEN does on that chart. Let's see where hold on. 8, wow. Yeah, that might not be a bad one to watch today, but again, same thing as OGEN. Every time CLRB gaps up and runs, it ends up crashing. So I'd be a little bit nervous on this one. What do you know? It's a bioscience tech BS or whatnot. I'm a day trader, so everything I do is in terms of day trading. All right. Already been over NBEV, we've been over IGC, we've been over AMRN, so we've been over quite a lot. Again, I would not be crazy on DTA. And again, guys, I'm wrong all the time, but just from my experience, it doesn't take me very long to pick a stock and go, no. And sure enough, it might end up having a good day, but out of the years that I've been trading, and seeing so many stocks, the likelihood, when I say something isn't going to be good, in my opinion, it's probably not going to be good, and I'll probably do much better trading something else, just from the experience. So, like DETA or DTA, OGEN, like, yeah, sure, they made moves, but they weren't like really good moves. Most of the money that was actually made on OGEN was in after hours and pre-market trading, which most people weren't trading unless you were swing trading it. And it's never really a great idea to swing trade a penny stock. If you're going to swing trade, I'd recommend swing trading reliable companies. That's what I do. I don't swing trade penny stocks because anything can happen after hours. Oh, just like NBEV and IGC today. You swing that, you got in, it went up, and now you basically lost all the money, almost, right? And so I'm not one to swing penny stocks very often. You can make money doing it, but there's a lot of risk involved there, and the idea of trading is to minimize all risk as much as possible. Chase, IGC going to the moon. I hope that is a joke. If it's not, I would say buy up as many shares as you can. LEVB. Let's take a look. Sure, why not? I wouldn't trade that. Personally, I would not day trade that. That's a low volume trading stock. So if you want to swing trade it, yeah, maybe. But other than that, I would not be trading that. And it basically just popped right up into resistance, and now it's kind of coming back down. So you could probably expect this might drop down to about $5, I would say. Maybe, but again, that's not a very good pattern, right? Up, down, up. Nah, I'll pass. So yeah, you could swing trade that, but I would not day trade that personally. Other than that, guys, that's all I got for today. So here you go. There's the stocks. You guys keep an eye on that. And I will see you guys all tomorrow morning and for a recap video today on what we traded and how we traded it, guys. So do take care. And please don't take offense if I say that any of the stocks that you're watching I don't like. It's just my personal opinion. And from experience, that's just not something I would trade. And so if you're planning on trading or day trading any of these stocks I'm referring to, do take what I say with some consideration, but always do your own research. If you see the value, you see the value. If I don't for reasons why, but it's in no way, shape, or form to, be a jerk, essentially. It's just, I just don't see the value, right? So anyways, guys, take care, and I'll see you guys all a little bit later today for our recap video.